Okay, here is game 3 of Alice against Dekzeh. Alice is leading with, well, Dekzeh is leading with Zapdos, and Alice is leading with Hariyama. Zapdos lead can once again just mean a huge amount of things. It's one of the most common leads, one of the best leads in the game. But Hariyama lead rather narrows a team down into what it's typically going to be, and that is stall. So Alice has gone for a very trusty Hariyama stall in the last game. We're going to see if Dekzeh is going to be able to overcome this with whatever he has. So Thunderbolt turn 1, doing 45 into a knockoff. 45 is a fair amount, actually, which indicates that Hariyama is probably leaning more towards physical defense than special defense. But Alice is going to be happy to stay in and tank that Thunderbolt in exchange for knocking off Zapdos' leftovers, which is going to put it on a timer because Alice is very, very likely going to have Tyranitar and Sand on this team, which means that Zapdos is not going to be able to heal itself and is going to be constantly chipped down, and as such less able to exert offensive pressure as the game goes on. However, this Hariyama has taken a lot of damage already, which means it's going to be forced to rest quite soon, and might even possibly be this turn. A couple of choices for Alice, switching out to maybe a Blissey or an Electric Immune like Claydol, or just staying in and resting. And Dekzeh makes a nice catch-all by pressing Baton Pass to Medicham, which will do very well against Hariyama because it resists fighting, doesn't mind knockoff, and is very offensively threatening in itself. And even better for Dekzeh, Alice elects to rest and stay healthy early on. Being this happy to rest indicates maybe a Heal Bell user, a Room Therapy, some kind of Cleric. But Dekzeh is going to have a turn to do whatever he wants with this Medicham, which might be a Choice Banded attack, or it is a Bulk Up, as we see here. And Brick Break is going to do a huge amount to Scarm, 73, which says to me one thing, YOLO Scarm. Because of course a regular Scarm would take a lot less, even from that boosted Medicham Brick Break. And Scum is going to be forced to roar it out because nothing else it does is worthwhile. Toxic is too slow. Might not even... I mean, in theory, if it wasn't a YOLO Scum, it might have Toxic, but even then, that wouldn't be a good choice. Roar is the choice, whatever set it is. And Heracross comes in, obviously because it's YOLO Scum, it's going to have Drill Peck, and I presume Dekzeh is going to respect Drill Peck here and not just staying with Heracross. Maybe go to Zapdos, yeah. As Alice is forced to Drill Peck and play reactively to the Heracross. So Dekzeh is just pressing T-Bolt. Doesn't need to do anything too crazy. He's very much ahead. It's interesting that Dekzeh is comfortable to stay in here and poison Blissey, because of course he's risking letting Zapdos get statused, as it does with the T-Wave. I guess he thinks he's far enough ahead, he's going to be able to use the momentum from forcing Blissey out with the poison for something else beneficial, getting Medicham back in somehow, playing aggressively with his fighting types. And I'm going to see what happens next turn. So Blissey switches out into Claydol just to pivot to Natural Cure. And one thing that's quite nice actually for Zapdos being T-Waved is it has the Slow Pass, of course. Heracross is going to love to come in on Claydol because Claydol can't kill it without killing itself. Psychic isn't going to KO, so Heracross is going to be able to set up a Swords Dance, fire or something Choice Band maybe. And yep, there's Swords Dance. And because the Scarm is YOLO, a Rock Slide will kill. He may even have Brick Break. No, it's Rock Slide, it kills. So Heracross is in a fantastic position. The typical two lasts on Alice's team are Milotic and Tyranitar. Tyranitar definitely, and you need a Water type, which is likely going to be Militic because Claydol is there, so Swampert is less likely as a partner. Either way, dealing with this +2 Heracross is going to be incredibly uncomfortable. He has to go to Vap, and Vap manages to tank a +2 Megahorn, which is pretty good, and manages to get a Haze off, which gets rid of the boosts, obviously, but it's not really enough, because this Heracross is still in. Vap has Haze, so can't even threaten it with a potential poison or something. And Heracross is honestly just going to be free to kill it with Megahorn or even set up again. Yep, there's a Protect, which is very much a play you make when you're behind, giving up really. Yep, there's Megahorn. We'll see if there's anything Alice can do. She goes to Hariyama, which Heracross can just Swords Dance up on because Hariyama is asleep. Hariyama does have Sleep Talk though. Sleep Talk's Rest, which is pretty useless. Dekzeh elects to go for a Focus Punch, which I don't like because there's a 2/3 chance that hits an attacking move, which it does, a knockoff. I mean, obviously it's not the end of the world for Dekzeh, and he's just so far ahead that Alice has no chance. I mean, Megahorn's going to do 42, Brick Break is going to do 23, which is just clearly not enough to threaten a Heracross, which is just a horrible position. Another Focus Punch just seems to be a pretty needless flex, if I have to say. So I don't love that. I think Dekzeh should just be Megahorning. Yep, he's Megahorning now. I don't know. Maybe he wants to bring it down to Swarm, but it just wouldn't be Swarm, it's Guts. Because it's leftovers, and presumably on this offensive kind of team, it's Guts. There's Bliss, gonna die to Megahorn, absolutely. Alice, all she can do is fish for a miss. Yeah, there's Megahorn Death. And there is T-Tar. Maybe getting Sand up earlier is... getting Sand up the turn before is something that Alice should have done. So Dekzeh is going to Focus Punch here, playing around Dragon Dance, which I like. That's no risks. And T-Tar shows its Ice Beam, which tends to indicate Pursuit. Could still be Ice Beam Dragon Dance, but I do find it strange that if it was a Dragon Dance T-Tar, Ice Beam is the move it would elect to press in that situation, as opposed to just going for broke and trying to set up. And Dekzeh is going to have Medicham that just wins at this point because it can bulk up. If Claydol booms on it, which is the only thing it can do to defeat Medicham, realistically speaking, Dekzeh will presumably have another Pokemon that can 1v1 an Ice Beam T-Tar. Probably a Swampert or something, because 2 fighting types shouldn't be your only T-Tar answers. So yep, there's Medicham. Don't need to take a risk here, just break. And yep, Shadow Ball even crits to add insult to injury. So we're going to see, just to finish here with break. Actually, we're not. We're just going to see Dekzeh flexing, going to Raikou. Which I still don't love. Because could still be Dragon Dance. I mean, it's not. And it would never be, but it could be. So yeah, Raikou, blah blah. Yeah, this was a slightly sad ending. Dekzeh had an incredible matchup with these fighting types, which was just too much for Skarmory without any kind of defensive investment. As for the series, it was obviously very unfortunate for Alice. She missed the 100% line in game 2 and got incredibly unlucky to compound that. I don't think Dekzeh even played particularly well in any of the games. I think he was quite fortunate to come away with 2-1.